Stop. Right now. That impulse you feel to answer the insult, to fire back the email, to correct the slight, to justify your position, to have the last word that is not strength. That is your defeat. You have been trained to believe that reaction is power, that a quick retort shows intelligence, that defending yourself shows strength, that expressing every feeling is authenticity. This is the great deception of the emotional life. Your reactions are not you. They are conditioned responses programs running on the hardware of past hurts, insecurities, and fears. When you react immediately, you are not in control. You are a puppet, and your triggers are pulling the strings. True power does not live in the reaction. True power lives in the space between the trigger and your response. In that space lies your freedom. In that space, you are no longer a prisoner of your past or a pawn of the present moment. You become the author of your next move. This book is about reclaiming that space. It is about the alchemy of turning emotional poison into mental gold. It is about the profound, terrifying, liberating power of not reacting. Your impulsive self ends now. Chapter 1. The gap where your power resides between stimulus and response. There is a gap. In that gap lies our freedom to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our happiness. Viktor Frankl, this gap is the most important real estate you will ever own. It is microscopic, often a fraction of a second. But within it resides your entire humanity, your will, your sovereignty. Most people live as if this gap does not exist. Trigger right arrow reaction. It is a neurological shortcut, a survival mechanism. But you are not in a life or death struggle on the savannah. You are in a meeting. You are in a relationship. You are on social media. That ancient wiring is now your greatest liability. When someone criticizes you and you feel the heat rise in your chest, that is the trigger. The milliseconds that follow where you feel the urge to snap, to defend, to attack, that is the gap. What you do next, breathe, pause, or explode, that is the response. Your entire emotional mastery depends on one skill: widening the gap. Your foundational drill, the 1-second pause. For the next week, your only goal is to insert 1 full second of silence between any emotional trigger and your outward reaction. Someone cuts you off in traffic. 1-second pause, breathe, then proceed. Your partner says something careless. 1-second pause, breathe, then speak. You read a frustrating email. 1-second pause. Stand up, then reply. Do not try to control the feeling. Just control the output for 1 second. In that second, you have created a beachhead of consciousness in the unconscious reaction. You have asserted, I am here, I am choosing. The gap is your throne. Learn to sit in it. Chapter 2. The observer witnessing the storm. Your emotions are not commands. They are data. They are weather systems moving through the sky of your awareness. You are not the storm. You are the sky. The moment you feel a strong reactive emotion, anger, jealousy, panic, your first task is not to express it or suppress it. Your first task is to observe it, to step back internally and become the witness. The practice, name it to tame it. When triggered, say to yourself internally, ah, here is anger, or this is anxiety, or this is humiliation. This simple act of labeling creates immediate psychological distance. It moves the emotion from being you, I am angry, to being a temporary visitor. There is anger present. You are now observing the storm from a secure bunker, not being swept away by it. Then, get curious. Where do I feel this in my body? A tight jaw, a knotted stomach, a hot face? Feel the physical sensation without the story. Breathe into it. By observing, you break the spell. The emotion, deprived of the fuel of your identification and your dramatic story, begins to lose its power. It might not vanish, but it can no longer use you. Stop being the puppet of your feelings. Become the scientist of your inner world. Chapter 3. The silent response, the ultimate power move in a world that values noise. Silence is the ultimate power move. When provoked, The weakest thing you can do is fill the air with your reactive noise. The strongest thing you can do is hold a calm, confident silence. This is not the silence of defeat. It is the silence of assessment. It is the silence of a general surveying the battlefield before committing his troops. It communicates, "Your attempt to trigger me has been noted, and I am unimpressed. I am so secure in my own position that your words require no immediate adjustment from me. I am choosing my response, not spilling my reaction." When to deploy the silent response to a blatant insult designed to bait you. In a heated argument when the other person is escalating. When you receive unfair criticism and need time to separate the useful signal from the emotional noise. When you feel yourself about to say something you will regret. How to do it. Maintain relaxed eye contact, if appropriate. Breathe slowly. Let the silence hang. Often, the other person will rush to fill it, revealing their own insecurity or backtracking. Your silence has forced them to sit in the discomfort they tried to create for you. Your words are ammunition. Don't waste them on reactive spray and pray. Choose silence, then choose your single, precise shot. Chapter 4. The emotional bank account. Why you overdraw, you have an emotional bank account. Every minor irritation, every suppressed annoyance, every unresolved slight is a withdrawal. You make these withdrawals all day long and never make a deposit. Then, when a major trigger hits, your account is overdrawn. You have no reserves. You explode over something small because it's the final withdrawal that broke the balance. You're not reacting to the spilled coffee, you're reacting to the 37 withdrawals you made earlier that day. Deposits into your emotional bank account, solitude and quiet, physical movement, walking, exercise, creative expression, mindfulness or meditation, healthy boundaries that prevent minor irritations, adequate sleep and nutrition. Withdrawals, scrolling through negative news/social media, people pleasing when you mean no, rushing and multitasking, suppressing legitimate needs, poor sleep and junk food. Your daily audit. Each evening, note one deposit you made and one withdrawal you allowed. Your goal is to be net positive by week's end. Mastering your reactions isn't just about the moment of crisis. It's about managing your emotional economy every hour so that when a crisis comes, you are operating from abundance, not bankruptcy. Chapter 5. The Art of the Strategic Pause, Buying Time to win. You do not need to respond in real time. The pressure to do so is an illusion, a trick of the reactive mind. The strategic pause is your weapon against this trick. When faced with an emotional trigger that demands a reply, you have the right to say, "Let me think about that and get back to you. I need to process this. Can we talk in an hour? I hear you. I don't have a response right now." Simply not replying to the text/email until you are centered. This pause is not weakness. It is tactical. It removes you from the high heat, low intelligence environment of instant reaction. It allows your prefrontal cortex, the rational, strategic part of your brain, to come back online and wrest control from the amygdala, the reactive, fear-based part. The 10-minute rule. For any non-life-threatening emotional trigger, give yourself a mandatory 10-minute buffer before responding. Set a timer. During that time, do not formulate your reply. Go for a walk. Do push-ups. Breathe. After 10 minutes, reassess. You will find your urgent response is often unnecessary, or you will craft a response 10x more effective. Buy time. Time is the currency of wise response. Spend it lavishly. Chapter 6. Detaching from the me story. Your most violent reactions come when you perceive an attack on your self-concept story. This is the narrative you carry about who you are. I'm a smart person. I'm a kind person. I'm a competent professional. When feedback or an event threatens that story, that comment makes me seem stupid. That action was unfair to someone like me. You react to protect the story. You are not defending your true self. You are defending a mental construct. The practice is to detach from the story, to ask, If I did not have the story that I must be seen as X, how would I respond to this? Story. I am the responsible one who never fails. Trigger. A mistake is pointed out. Reactive response. Defensiveness. Blame shifting. Detached response. Thank you for pointing that out. How can I fix it? You are not your story. You are the awareness behind it. When you stop identifying with the fragile character you've created, you become invulnerable to attacks aimed at it. They pass through you like arrows through empty space. Your mantra. I am not my story. I am the author. You can edit the character anytime. Chapter 7. The law of low expectations disarming triggers. You are constantly triggered because you have silent expectations of how people should act, how events should unfold. When reality violates these hidden rules, you react with frustration, anger, or hurt. The law of low expectations states, expect nothing from the behavior of others. This does not mean become cynical. It means become realistic. People are flawed. They are selfish, distracted, insecure, and operating from their own pain. This is the default human condition. When you expect your colleague to be perfectly professional, your friend to always remember, your partner to read your mind, you are setting a trap for yourself. Your expectation is the bait, and your reaction is the snap of the trap. Practice. Each morning, consciously lower your expectations for the day. Tell yourself, someone will likely be rude. Something will likely go wrong. I will likely be misunderstood. When it happens, and it will, you will not be triggered. You will be prepared. You will meet it with a calm, almost amused, right on schedule. This is not pessimism. It is emotional preparedness. It is taking the power of surprise away from the world and keeping it for yourself. Disarm your triggers by refusing to load the weapon of expectation. Chapter 8. Alchemy in action. Transmuting anger into focus. The energy of a reactive emotion is pure power. The problem is not the energy, it's that the energy is bound to a destructive story. Alchemy is the art of unbinding the energy from the story and redirecting it. The transmutation protocol. Feel the energy. When anger/hurt/frustration arises, don't tell the story. How dare they? Feel the raw, physical energy. The heat, the tension, the charge. Claim it. Say, this is my energy. They may have sparked it, but it is mine to direct. Redirect. Immediately channel that energy into a constructive physical action. Go for a sprint. Do a brutal workout. Clean your house aggressively. Work on a challenging project with intense focus. Do not process the story. Process the energy. You are taking the poison and, through the filter of conscious action, turning it into fuel. The person who triggered you has, inadvertently, given you a gift of power. Thank them silently and use it. Your anger is not a problem to be solved. It is coal. Burn it in the engine of your ambition. Don't let it smoke out your mind. Chapter 9. The unshakable identity beyond praise and blame. Your reactive life is built on a shaky foundation, an identity dependent on external validation. You react with euphoria to praise and with devastation to blame because both confirm or threaten your sense of self. The unshakable identity is built on an internal scorecard. Your worth is determined by your own standards of effort, integrity, and growth, things you fully control. Did you work with focus? Check. Did you act with kindness when it was hard? Check. Did you learn something? Check. If you have checked your own boxes, no external opinion can add or subtract from your score. Praise is a nice bonus. Criticism is just data to check against your own standards. You accept what aligns. You discard what doesn't. How to build it. At the end of each day, do not ask, what did people think of me? Ask, did I meet my own standards? Grade yourself on your private criteria. This is the only report card that matters. When your identity is no longer hostage to the opinions of others, you become reaction-proof. You can listen to feedback without flinching, accept praise without inflating, and move through the world with a calm, immovable core. Chapter 10. The Mastered Mind. Living in the gap. Integration. You now live in the gap. The trigger comes. You feel it. But instead of a hair-trigger reaction, there's a vast, calm, silent space. In that space, you observe the emotion. You feel its energy. You check it against your internal scorecard. You consider your strategic options. You remember your low expectations. And then, from a place of total sovereignty, you choose. You choose silence, or a question, or a calibrated response, or a transmutation of energy into action. Your response is a work of art, not a chemical spill. This is the mastered mind. It is not a mind that never feels. It is a mind that is never ruled by what it feels. It uses emotion as fuel, data, and warning light, never as the steering wheel. Your life is no longer a series of reactions to external events. It is a series of conscious creations, authored by you in the sacred space of the gap. The quiet victory, the loudest person in the room, is the weakest. The one who must have the last word is the most insecure. The quickest to anger is the most frightened. Your victory will not be loud. It will be quiet. It will be the argument that didn't happen because you breathed. It will be the email you didn't send in rage. It will be the insult you absorbed and dissolved into fuel. It will be the peace in your chest when chaos reigns around you. This quiet victory is not for the world to see. It is for you to know. In that knowing, you become unassailable. You become a fortress of calm in a world of triggers. The power was never in the reaction. The power was always in the pause. The power is in the not doing. The power is in the space. Claim your space. Own your pause. Win your quiet victory.